Hello everybody, my name's Liz, I'm the baker that sews. Welcome to my channel if you're new and welcome back if you are a subscriber. So today's video is a roundup of all the things that I made in September. I am filming this on a really rainy day, so apologies if it's a bit dark. I've got all the lights on to try and make sure that it's nice and bright. Before I show you what I have been sewing up in September, I thought I'd tell you what I'm wearing. So I am wearing a boiler suit, and that's one of the really nice things about the weather getting colder and the autumn is I can dig out all of my boiler suits. I made quite a few last year. I absolutely love the style of them. And this is the Gimlet boiler suit by Our Lady of Leisure Patterns, and I'll link all their details down below. And this is made in a floral needle cord, and I just love the colours in there. It's reds and blues. There's a little bit of yellow in there too. The boiler suit's got fake pockets. It's got a belt to sort of bring it in because it is quite a roomy boiler suit. And then it's got pockets here. And I really like the belt because it just adds in a bit of shaping. I'll insert photos of me wearing this so that you can see, but it's perfect. I absolutely love wearing this. It's so comfortable. I think because it's in that really fine needle cord, it's really soft and it's also really warm and cozy, which is great. So September turned out to be quite a productive month for me, despite the fact it was the beginning of the school term. And in my September plans video, I did say I'm not sure how much I'd be able to get done. I found that sewing has really helped me this month, well, in September. It's going to continue to help me in October. If you work in a school or know anyone that works in a school, they're not an enjoyable place to be at the moment, unfortunately, due to COVID and all the restrictions that are in place. Obviously, I absolutely love teaching. I love teaching my children, you know, and that's a really fun side of my job. But there are so many restrictions in place. We're having to keep in our class bubble, which means that we're not able to do free flow like we normally would in the early years. Everybody sort of has to arrive at a certain time and they go home at a certain time. Lunchtime has to be staggered, and yeah, it's quite a tiring place to be at the moment. So sewing has just been a wonderful thing for me to have in the evenings to make sure that I do switch off. So sewing has really helped me in the evenings to switch off. My days have been quite long at the moment, just getting back into the swing of things. And just the time that it takes with the organisation side of things, but also getting things ready for the children. So I have been trying to make sure that I do a tiny bit of sewing, not every night, but tiny bit of sewing here and there. And I've also really been enjoying watching the Bake Off because that's back on. So that's been a really fun thing to watch each week. So on to what I've made. So the first thing that I'm going to share with you is something that I cut out over a year ago, and I asked in one of my vlogs for help with the waistband, and it's the Selkie London skirt. So I cut out version C, which is the skirt, and it's got this lovely detail on the waistband, and I cut it out of a border print fabric. I'm just going to grab the skirt. It's a rifle paper border print fabric, I think. And when I cut it out last year, well, over a year ago, I think, my shape changes, I'm sure I'm not the only one, but when I went to sew it up and try it on, the waistband was too small by about 2.5 inches, and I didn't have any of this fabric left. So it's in this beautiful border print fabric. I just absolutely love it. It's so pretty. And I didn't have any of this fabric left to cut the waistband out again. And then somebody suggested that I use a different colour fabric for the inside, which is exactly what I did. So I used the black fabric for the inside because it doesn't matter, you can't see the inside of the waistband. And then I just added an extra little bit of the waistband on the back. I don't know if you can see that there. And then obviously I've got my invisible zip. So thank you for those top tips on how to rescue that. I'm really pleased that I actually managed to get this sewn up, and I've worn it to work with my Orla Keeley coral shoes to bring out the pops of colour in the flowers. It was a really easy sew, quite straightforward, just really annoyed with myself really about the waistband, but I've managed to rectify it, which is great. So I cut out a size 10, and I'll put my measurements down below as well, just so you can compare. And the Selkie pattern comes in a top with like a peplum, a dress, or the skirt, and I did the skirt version, and it comes in sizes 6 to 20. Yeah, and I bought the pattern, I think it was part of their Kickstarter campaign, and it's taken me until now to actually get it sewn up. I'm not a massive skirt wearer. I don't enjoy wearing skirts, to be honest, and I think that's why it's taken me so long to sew this pattern up. I think I probably will make some more, but I think I'd probably make the dress version because I am just a massive fan of wearing dresses. So that was the first thing that I managed to get sewn up, and I'm really pleased that I've used that gorgeous fabric, and I've got a skirt now in my wardrobe, and I can see myself pairing it with lots of cozy jumpers to see me through the autumn and the winter. The next thing that I got sewn up was my husband's Hackney shirt. So I'd almost finished it. I just needed to do buttonholes, and then I just needed to add buttons, and I got some gorgeous pink buttons. My husband actually chose those pink buttons. It's in this amazing fabric from DIY or Die Leaves with lightning bolts all over it. Just absolutely love them. I'll put pictures in of my husband wearing this shirt, but it's the second one that I've made for him. The first one I'll put pictures in as well. I used a Liberty Tana lawn with rockets all over it, and he absolutely loves that, and he's worn both of them. He's worn both of them to work, which is brilliant. And I've also got some fabric, and I'll share that in my fabric haul and my plans video for October, because he's requested another shirt using some linen fabric, so I will share that in a different video. But yeah, I'm really pleased with this. The Hackney shirt's a great pattern, instructions are brilliant. I'm just going to grab the pattern. So I've got the Hackney shirt here. So it's quite a standard shirt. It's got long sleeves. You can choose to have the pocket. On both of the versions that I've made for my husband, he didn't want the pocket. Yeah, it's got the box pleat at the back, it's got the yoke, and then it's got the standard collar. I loved making this. I put off making him a shirt for so long, but once I'd made the first one, I then wanted to jump back in and remake it, just so that the new skills that I'd learned were sort of really embedded in my long-term memory. And then I'm really looking forward to making him another shirt. It was actually a really enjoyable process. It comes in sizes extra small, which is a chest size 36 and a waist size 30, up to extra extra large, which is a chest size 46 and a waist 40. I made my husband a medium, and it fits him really nicely. On the next version that he wants me to make for him, I don't know how to explain this properly, but on a lot of his shop bought shirts, where you've got the collar bit, he's got like a funny little pouchy bit here that you insert those, I'm not going to make any sense because I don't know what they're called, but they're little like long plasticky things that you insert into the collar just to keep it nice and crisp here. So he wants me to try and do that, but I need to work out where I would find the tutorial, and given I don't know what those little plasticky things are called, yeah, if anyone knows, if any of what I just said made sense and you understand what I'm talking about, let me know in the comments where I might be able to find a tutorial, because I'd really like to try and add it. I mean, I could probably try and figure it out myself, but I want to do a really good job and I don't want to ruin the shirt, and I've got some really nice fabric. So if anyone knows how to insert, like, it's a funny little pockety thing, and then you insert the little plasticky thing along here, and it just keeps this part of the collar really crisp just here, but I don't know what it's called, so sorry if that doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I'm really pleased that I got the Hackney shirt finished, and I've definitely got plenty more in the pipeline. So I had a tiny bit of this fabric left, and I thought it might be quite nice to make a matching shirt, but I only had probably less than a metre, I think. I knew that I wouldn't be able to do like a full-on shirt because I didn't have enough for like the collar. So I had a look in my stash, and I thought about what pattern I could try and hack to make a cute little top using the fabric. And I opted for using the Tilly and the Buttons Alexa jumpsuit, which is this. And I thought I'd just use the top part to make a cute little shirt. And that's exactly what I did with the fabric. So I'm just going to hold it up. Now, I'm not happy with the finished shirt, and I'm not actually sure if I would ever wear it out of the house. I feel like it looks a bit too much like a pyjama top, if I'm honest. And I will insert pictures of me wearing it so you can help me decide. I put the pockets on, and I think the pockets are just a bit too fussy. I played around with the stripes. So on the front, I've got the stripes going along this way, and then on the back, I've got the stripes going down, which is fine. And then I've got contrasting pocket with the stripes going down. I don't know what, I don't know what it is about it, but I just don't like the overall finish. It's quite cropped. I could wear it sort of with jeans. I'll put pictures in so you can see what it looks like. I'll definitely wear it around the house. I might wear it as like a cute pyjama top with some pyjama bottoms. But yeah, it's not something that I think I'll wear out of the house. I'm just not 100% keen on it. I think if I was going to make that again using the top half of the Alex jumpsuit, I think I'd just size down. I think maybe that's what it is. Because with the jumpsuit, you've got the waistband that draws it in. So you do end up with a bit of a blousy effect on the top. A bit like with this, it's meant to be roomy on top. And I think because I haven't got the waistband to draw it in, it's just quite roomy and it just looks a little bit too big on me. I don't know. So I think it's a cute little pyjama top, but I'm not sure I would wear it out of the house. And I was umming and ahhing about sharing that, but I think it's important to talk about the makes that you're not particularly keen on. And I've got another one that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. It's nothing to do with the pattern. I think, you know, the pattern's meant to be a jumpsuit. I've just tried to hack it. I think I need to perhaps maybe use a drapier fabric if I'm going to try and use it to make a cute little shirt. And I think maybe I would have lengthened it, but obviously I didn't have enough fabric left. I only had a tiny little bit left. And then I've used prim snaps for the buttons, which I think brings out the colour of the lightning bolts. Really cute fabric. I think it's a nice little pyjama top that I've now got. On to the next thing that I've made. And I used some fabric that I got from Rainbow Fabrics. And I'll link their details down below. I saw Samantha from Purple Sewing Cloud share this fabric on her stories and I instantly loved it and had to go and buy it. If you followed me for a while, you'll know I absolutely love colour, so this fabric was right up my street. I love rainbow fabric particularly. And it's this gorgeous rainbow striped fabric. I think it's a viscose crepe. It's quite weighty and the stripes are all different sizes. So some are thin, some are quite thick stripes. Just love all the colours in it. And I used it to make the Heidi dress by AK Patterns. Now I've made this dress already in a lilac fabric and I absolutely love it. It's such a fun sew. I love these ruffles that you get. I'm just gonna, oh, there's the line drawings. I absolutely love these ruffles that you get. So you can choose to do it plain, but I really love these dramatic ruffles that go all the way. They go down the front and then they go down the back as well. I'll insert pictures of me wearing the dress. I wore it to work a couple of weeks ago and I got so many compliments on the dress, not just from my work colleagues, but also from parents, because I have to stand sometimes on the gate and say bye. And loads of parents as they were going by saying, you know, I absolutely love your dress, which is so lovely. I loved making this and I've got plenty more in the pipeline with lots of different fabrics that I've already got in my stash. And there might be plans for one in October. I'm umming and ahhing about whether to use that fabric for the Heidi dress or whether to use it for something else, but I just love this. So let's find out the details for you. So the Heidi dress has got quite a large size range. It starts in a size 4, which is a bust. Oh, and also what I really love about this pattern, I should have said, is it comes in 2 different bust cups. So you've got an AB cup or a CD cup, which I love because it means I don't have to do a full bust adjustment, which I sometimes have to do on patterns. So it comes in a size 4 all the way up to a 28. So a size 4 for an AB cup is 29 inches or a CD cup 31 inches, and then waist 22 inches and hips 32 inches, up to a 53-inch bust for an AB cup or a 55-inch bust for a CD cup, and then a 46-inch waist and a 56-inch hip. So I think I made the size 8 and I used the CD cup, which fits me perfectly. It's a really lovely pattern. Like I said, I've got plenty more planned. I love the skirt. It's got really nice amount of volume in it. It's sort of midi length and it's got pockets, which I absolutely adore. And then it's also got this elastic waist channel across here. And that just helps to bring it in and give it a bit of shape, but then it creates a bit of a blouse effect on the top. And the skirt is so swishy, which I absolutely love. So I'm really pleased with that one. And like I said, I've got plenty more of the Heidi dress planned. It's such a great pattern. And then this fabric is it's just so fun. I just absolutely love it. Then onto my vintage makes. So I did mention in my September plans that I was hoping to take part in the hashtag Sew Vintage September. I was very kindly gifted lots of vintage patterns, and I did manage to get them both sewn up. I've only managed to share one so far. I need to get pictures of the other one. And I am going to do a separate video all about the vintage patterns, because I want to go into a bit more detail about how I found sewing with vintage patterns, because it was my first experience of sewing with them. So I'm going to show you what I made, and I'll insert pictures so you get a better idea of what they look like. So the first one, I used this beautiful, I think it's a rayon fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. It's got black flowers on, and then it's got white, it's got black flowers on, white background, and then it's got the yellow in the middle of all of the flowers, which I just absolutely love. It moves so beautifully. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the pattern I used for that one was the Style 2290 vintage pattern from the 70s. So I did this version with this amazing, absolutely gorgeous sleeve. And then I decided to add this tie. So you get a pattern piece, I'm just going to show you, for the scarf. And instead of using it as a scarf, I decided to use it as a belt, just to bring it in. Because with this fabric, I'm just going to hold it up so you can see, it looks a little bit like a hospital gown. And because I'm going to stand up so you can see, but the skirt, well, it's a dress, is huge. It's meant to have so much volume in it. It's absolutely beautiful, and the way that it moves is incredible. But it's really, really voluminous, which is great. But I felt like I needed something to cinch it in at the waist, because otherwise it just looked like I was wearing a hospital gown. And I absolutely love it. I haven't worn it yet, but I'm going to wear it to work on one of my leadership days. And I've got some red shoes that go perfectly with it. So I'll put the pictures in so you can see what it looks like. But I styled it with black tights and red shoes. And I think the pop of colour is really fun. And I'm really, really pleased with that one. The pattern, where did I just put it? So it says on the front it's a size 14, which is a bust 92. And it did come up a little bit roomy on me, it did come up roomy on the chest, but it is meant to be quite roomy. That's just the shape of it. If I show you the line drawings, it is meant to be a really roomy dress. It's got so much volume in it. The pattern pieces are enormous. But I found it came up quite roomy on the neck, so I did have to play around with trying to reduce that area on the neck for the front and the back, so I did have to take it in. The way that you sew it up, it's got a seam line down the front, and then it's got a seam line down the back, and then it's also got seam lines down the sides. So I ended up having to take some out of the centre front and the centre back to try and help reduce the size of the neck opening front and the neck opening at the back. I hope that makes sense. And then the second vintage pattern that I sewed up is the 7909 Simplicity pattern. Again, I was gifted this pattern, and I did go in the end with the full-on jumpsuit, egged on by my husband, surprisingly. And I used this incredible fabric that, again, I got from Sew Me Sunshine. I'm just going to take it off the hangers. It's just amazing, and I absolutely love it. I'm really surprised at how much I love the finished look. I will put pictures in of me wearing it so that you can see, but it's really high-necked. I went for the really full-on voluminous sleeves, finished with the elastic. And then I've gone for the full-length jumpsuit, and it's got a really wide-legged trouser. It's just amazing. I absolutely love it, and I felt really cool wearing it. I didn't feel silly at all. I was worried when I shared my thoughts of what I was going to make. I was really worried that this would make me look a bit like a clown, but I don't think it does. I'll put pictures in so you can let me know what you think it looks like, but I really love it. And once my husband and I can start going out for dinner again, I'm definitely going to wear this. I can't wait. I just absolutely love it. It's really fun. Yeah, and I'm smiling about it because it does make me smile when I put it on, and I think that's what I really love about making your own clothes. Again, it might not be to your taste, but I love it, and it really, really makes me feel really happy wearing it. I've got some gorgeous red shoes that would go perfectly with it as well. Yeah, so I just love it. And then also, to bring it in, I used some of the scraps that I had to make a belt, just to add a bit of shaping again around my waist, because it did come up quite roomy. This was a size 12, which is a bust 34, which is perfect for me. But around the waist and the hips, it was quite roomy. So I thought I'll use a belt, and that sort of helps to bring it in a little bit. And then it also creates a bit of a blouse effect on top. So it does look a little bit like I'm wearing a top and some trousers. Yeah, it was a really fun sew, and I'm going to do a separate video talking in a bit more detail all about that pattern. It was a great experience sewing up vintage, and I've got a stash of more vintage behind me, so I think I will try my hand at a few more vintage patterns. So yeah, I'm really grateful to the challenge Sew Vintage September, because it's pushed me to try something completely new. So I'm really pleased with both of those makes. It was a really fun make. The next thing I wanted to share with you is something that I made using this beautiful viscose jersey fabric that came in a Sew Hayley Jane box. I think it was the last, was it the last Sew Hayley Jane? Yeah, it came in the last Sew Hayley Jane box. Just beautiful. I love all of those colours. They are right up my street. So I used it to make the Nova jumpsuit by True Bias. So you can make this version, the long version, or you can make the play suit. With the long version and the play suit, you can add an elastic channel across the waist area. There's also pockets for both versions, and then on the long version you can add elastic at the bottom to create a cuff as well. So it comes in sizes 0 to 18, so not a huge size range, but I think there are plans for them to increase the size range for this pattern. It's quite a simple, straightforward jumpsuit to sew up. I'll just show you the line drawings. So I did the long version with the elastic casing across the tummy area, and then the elastic for the bottom. So comfortable, it's just brilliant. It's got quite a low front and back, but it is bra friendly. I've been able to wear a bra with all of my versions, and you can't see my bra coming through, which is great. Super comfortable to wear in this. The only downside, I suppose, is the fact that it's more of a summer wear because of the neckline, and obviously it doesn't have sleeves. That's the only downside. I'm going to see if I can try and style it for the autumn, but this fabric is definitely more of a spring summer, so I'm not going to get a huge amount of wear out of this now that the weather's turned colder. But my flat gets quite hot, so I might just wear it around the flat like secret pajamas, because it's so comfortable. I have managed to wear it. I managed to wear it in the first couple of weeks of September because I got it sewn up quite quickly, and it was really comfortable to wear. And I love the pockets, which are perfect. I mean, who doesn't love pockets in things? So that was another successful make, which is great. And I've definitely got plans to make more of the Nova jumpsuit. Not at the moment because of the weather, but definitely for next summer, I definitely want to make some more. Then I've got my Maisie dress, which is not finished. It's almost finished. So let me show you where I've gotten up to. I might have to stand up to show you this. But the Sew Over It Maisie dress, I don't have the line drawings in front of me, but I'll insert pictures of the line drawings throughout me talking about the dress so you can see what it looks like. So here it is. So it's a wrap dress. It's a faux wrap dress because the wrap is sewn into the sides of the dress. It's made using this gorgeous crepe fabric from Felicity Fabrics. It's really difficult to hold up because the back isn't fastened. I haven't inserted the zip, but yeah, it's got this lovely crossover detail on the front. Then it's got these cute little sleeves that are sewn on, and then they've got like this little, almost like it's kind of like a dart that you sew into the sleeve. You're not going to be able to see that at all. But that gives a really nice cute detail. It's got this gorgeous skirt that's really swishy. So the next thing that I need to do, I've added the bias binding along the neckline. The next thing I need to do is insert my zip on the back. So it's open completely at the moment. So I just need to insert the zip and then finish off the skirt and then hem it because I haven't hemmed it yet. So the fabric's gorgeous. It's got so much drape and movement to it, which is lovely. I absolutely love it. It's such a beautiful dress. Now, I think I made the 8, and when I've tried it on, it fits really nicely on the front, but the back, I say I made the 8, I think I actually made the 10, going off my bust measurement, because it's quite fitted there. But when I've tried it on, there's a lot of room in the back, so I'm going to have to take it in. I mean, I haven't inserted the zip yet, but I need to play around with how much I need to take off the back just to bring it in. I think I'm going to have to take off a good, probably an inch off each side, I think. But that's why I've stopped at the moment, because I've got a little bit more fitting to do with it. But currently, I love it. And I could just slip it on now just to show you. Obviously, I've still got my boiler suit on, but you'll get the idea. Or it might just look really weird. Yeah, it's probably going to just look really weird. It's got this gorgeous pleat detail on the side as well. I don't know if you can see that because the fabric's quite busy. It's going to be really difficult to put this on. But yeah, it's got like this crossover detail and then this really lovely full skirt. And then it comes in round the back. And I think it's got a slight V on the back as well. So I'm hoping I can get that finished this month in October. I should have enough time to get that finished. I just need to play around with the back and see how much I need to take out, which is why it's been sat waiting to be finished, but not quite. I've got the zip ready to go. I just need a bit of time really to play around with the fitting. So that's my Maisie, almost finished. Then I finished my daughter's Sorrento jacket, which is great. I'm not going to put pictures in of my daughter wearing it, but I will put pictures in of me wearing it so you can see what it looks like, because this is a Sorrento that we're kind of sharing. I've worn it quite a lot actually. She's been able to wear it too, but it's in this gorgeous denim, which I got from First for Fabrics. It's beautiful. It's coming up quite pink, but it is a lilac colour. I love the Sorrento. This is my 3rd version that I've made. I chose to use a fat quarter to make some bias binding for the cuff binding, just for a cute little bit of detail. And then on the inside, I'll show you on this side actually, the pocket facing I chose to do the same. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. But yeah, I've used the floral for the pocket facing too. And then I chose to put silver buttons on this version. Let me see if I can show you. Some lovely silver buttons. I love the Sorrento. It's a nice, it's not a quick sew, but it's a nice sew. There's lots of really lovely steps to it. I love all the top stitching. It's got the pockets, it's got the collar, which is lovely. And then it's got, at the back, it's got this lovely pleat detail, and then it's got the tabs on the back. And then on the sleeves, I'm just going to fasten that button back up. You've got this lovely opening detail here, which is a cute feature. Ruby loves wearing it, and I also love wearing it, so I think it's a denim jacket that we're both going to enjoy sharing. It's from the Sew Over It Summer Dreaming ebook, and it comes in sizes 6 to 20. So the measurements for a 6, it's a bust 31 inches, and a waist 24 inches, and hips 34 inches, and then it goes up to a 20, a size 20, which is a bust 45 inches, waist 38 inches, and hip 48 inches. It's your standard sort of denim jacket. It's got all the details that you want from a denim jacket. Like I've already discussed, it's got the pockets, it's got the gorgeous collar detail, and then the cuff detail, and the tabs at the back. It comes up to sort of waist on me, comes up to hip on Ruby. She's just a little bit shorter than I am at the moment. There's a little bit of room in there for her because I chose to do a size 8 so that I could share it with her. And she absolutely loves wearing it when mummy's not wearing it. So I'm really pleased that I managed to get her denim jacket finished. Now I think I only had a couple of things left to do on it, like adding the tabs, buttonholes and buttons. And I think that might have been it. So it was quite a quick finishing off job this month, which is why I've managed to get that done. I didn't sew the entire thing this month. I just had a few little things to finish on there. So the next thing that I wanted to share with you is something that is it's not a sewing fail, but it's something that I'm not 100% sure about. I love this pattern. I've seen so many cute versions on other people, but the version that I made, I don't know if it's a combination of the fabric and the size that I opted for. It feels quite big on me, and I don't think it's got enough drape to it, so I do think it's maybe the fabric that I chose. Anyway, it's the Helen's Closet Gilbert shirt, and I opted for this version, which has got this lovely tie detail. It's got the buttons down here. I didn't put the pocket on because I didn't want that fussiness with the fabric, and you'll see why in a second. And then it's got the lovely notched collar, which I absolutely adore. I've seen so many beautiful versions of this shirt. I was really excited to make it. And I chose to make it in this fabric that I got from Sew Me Sunshine. It's a broderie anglaise fabric. It's lovely. And I was hoping to get like a nice summer version out of it, but also a version that I could team with other things that I've got in my wardrobe. So this is it finished. I'll put a picture of me wearing it so you can see, but it's come up quite big on me, and I think it is meant to be quite roomy, but I think the fabric that I chose to use means that it's not as drapey as maybe it could have been. I don't know. I'll put pictures in so you can see what it looks like. Let me know what you think. Maybe I'm just being a bit too critical, and maybe it's because it's a new pattern and this isn't the sort of style that I would always go for. I don't tend to wear shirts a huge amount. I've got my Cali shirts, which I absolutely love, but this style of shirt is something that's totally new to me, especially with that tie detail at the front. I love the fabric. The instructions are brilliant. I absolutely love Helen's Closet for instructions. It's sewed up really nicely, and there are some really great techniques in there that you learn as well. It comes in sizes 0 to 22 for a B cup size, and then for the D cup size range it's a size 12 up to a 30. Now I did a size 6 based on my full bust measurement and my waist measurement. My hips would have put me in a size 4, and it has come up quite baggy on me and quite roomy, so I think next time I'll try and size down and see what that looks like. And also choose drapier fabrics. I still adore the pattern. I think it's really lovely. It also comes, I don't know, I was expecting it to finish on my waist, but I think looking at the pictures, it doesn't. I think it finishes somewhere between your waist and your hips. So it feels a bit too long on me. So I think also next time I'll probably take a little bit off the length. So it's not a sewing fail. I think I will wear it. I need to play around with styling it a little bit as well, I think. Again, like I was saying with the previous, I can't remember what it was, the pink shirt. Seems to be shirts and me at the moment. I think I just need to play around with styling it. It's not a sewing fail, it's just not something that I'm completely in love with. And I think, again, it's really important to talk about those makes that you're not 100% sure about. But yeah, I'm going to try it in a different fabric, and I'm going to try sizing down to see if I prefer that. But this fabric's beautiful, and even if I don't wear it out of the house, I think I'll just wear it around the house, or even as a bedtime top, a bed shirt. Bed shirt? A pyjama top, that's what I meant to say. Yeah, so that was another thing that I made in September. Okay, the last thing that I want to share with you that I made for me, and then I've got 2 things that I made for my girls, is the new pattern by Tilly and the Buttons, the Lottie Dress. Tilly and the Buttons seems to have done it again, and it's a gorgeous pattern. I resisted for about 2 days, and then I saw lots of versions and just had to get it. It's this beautiful dress that can be made in wovens or knits, and there's 2 different sleeve lengths and 2 different skirt lengths. It comes in sizes UK 6 to a UK 24. And then I'm just going to bring it up so you can see. So you've got the grown-on sleeve, or you've got the bracelet sleeve that you can add on. And then you've got the knee-length skirt or the midi length. And then for the jersey version, there's a neckband that you add on as well. So it can be sewn, like I said, in wovens, and it can be sewn in knits. I've sewn it in a woven fabric, and a fabric that I got from Fabric Godmother a while ago, but didn't really know what to use it for. And it is this really fun space print fabric. Just absolutely adore it. It's a viscose crepe. It's beautiful. It's got so much lovely drape. It's a black background, which is unusual for me, but I do love all of the galaxy print with the planets all over it. I'll insert pictures of me wearing it. But I went for the grown-on sleeve version, and then it's got this elastic channel across the tummy area. Really simple to sew, quite straightforward, comes together really quickly. It's got a facing for the neck, the front and the back. You can add on the bracelet if you want, the bracelet sleeve if you want to, but I chose not to because I prefer the grown-on sleeve, and then I can just wear a blazer with it, or I could wear a long sleeve top underneath, or put a jumper on over the top, and it'll look like I've just got a skirt on. I went for the midi length and I love it. The skirt's got such swishability. So yeah, I've got plenty more Lottie dresses planned, definitely. It's a pattern that I absolutely adore. And I've seen so many beautiful versions popping up on Instagram already. And I'm really pleased that I managed to get a use for this fabric. It's been sat in my stash since I bought it from Fabric Godmother. And I know this fabric sold out really quickly. It's really fun. It's got stars and planets and the galaxy all over it. So I can see why it sold out so quickly. And the last two things that I made were not makes for me, but they were makes for my girls. And I will put pictures in of them wearing these. I was asked to be a pattern tester for the By Hand London mini range. They brought out 3 children's patterns, which are miniature versions of their dresses. There's a mini Anna dress, a mini Flora dress, and there's a mini Hannah dress. I forgot then, and that's the pattern that I tested. So I pattern tested the mini Hannah dress, and I did a version for Ruby, who's 12, and I did a version for Lola, who's 10. I think it goes up to age 14. I'll put information in of what the size range is, or the age range is for you. So I did Ruby's version in this striped seersucker fabric that I got from Minerva. It's gorgeous, and she loves wearing it. Now Ruby is quite sensitive with fabrics, so this is lovely and soft for her, but she likes to wear t-shirt underneath of it. So the picture that I insert, she's got a t-shirt on underneath. She just prefers to wear her clothes like that. So yeah, I'm really pleased with that one. And then the other one I made in a fabric that I got from Material Girl Laura, which is this pink background, and then it's got gold. I don't know if you can see it. It's got gold lines. You can just about see it sparkling through it. And then it's got these lovely red dots, which is great. So I made a version for Lola using that. So the Hannah dress, the mini Hannah dress, is exactly the same as the adult size. It's got the crossover, it's got the tie detail on the inside and then on the outside, and then it's got that lovely swishy skirt. And both of my girls have loved wearing them, which is great. It was really fun being part of the pattern testing process. I really enjoyed it, and the patterns came out at just the right time, because I had been asking for girls patterns for children up to the age of, well, beyond the age of 12, and their pattern range is beyond the age of 12. I found it really difficult to find patterns, but lots of wonderful people who watch my videos, thank you so much, suggested loads of different companies, which is great. So I have bought a couple of children's patterns, so I'm really looking forward to being able to make more things for my girls. So I did manage to get lots of things sewn up in September. Like I said, it's really good for my mental health and well-being, and it really helps me to switch off from work. Some of the things, it was just a case of finishing off, and a couple of things snuck in there, and I wasn't planning to make them, but I ended up making them. So this was obviously a bit of a secret, because I couldn't talk about this because it was a pattern test. And then the Lottie dress, well, that pattern just came along and just had to jump to the top of the queue. And then obviously I've got my Maisie dress that I need to finish off. My next video will be me talking about my vintage patterns that I sewn up in a little bit more detail. And then I've also got a fabric haul and pattern haul to share with you too. Thank you as always for watching my videos. I really do enjoy sharing my sewing journey with you, and it's really nice that so many of you keep coming back and watching all of my videos. I hope whatever you're up to, you're well and you're keeping safe. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your week, and I'll be back soon with another video. Take care. Bye.